Toastmasters and guests. As I said, my vacation cruise was to see the sights in Alaska. A much-needed vacation. I left on Sunday, August the 12th, and I returned the following Sunday from Seattle. I loved it and saw sights that I hadn't even read about in books. It was you just have to see places yourself, especially Alaska. I saw so many things, and I just thought of one thing I didn't even put in here that was awesome. It took us probably about an hour and a half to board the ship, because all the people there, they told us you could get there about 12, and probably get it. I got in there at 12:30, and it was 1:30 or 2, about 1 or 1:30 before I got through there. But it was very nice. You showed got so sick and tired of showing my passport. Everywhere you went, they wanted my passport. I went after aboard the ship. I went to found my room. It was beautiful, and I had been upgraded 3 times. I started out with no porthole at all. Then I got a partial porthole. Then I got a full porthole. I got a full window. I mean, that thing was this wide and this tall right behind my bed. It was fantastic. Didn't even off to find the dining areas. They told us we would be fed immediately when we got there. They had many dining areas and the best chefs in the world. And I did not gain any weight. Everybody said, you're going to gain weight. I didn't. Most of them, three of the dining rooms, you had to pay to get in. But the big one, which was larger than this whole area, it covered the whole ship. There were some things on the menu you could order and you wouldn't have to pay for, but others were, you did. But one day, I don't remember the occasion, we all said we could go to the dining room that day if we wanted to. And guess what everybody had? Steak and lobster. Fantastic. I also took the stairs a lot because that was good exercise. And I believe I was on level 3. And we had to go all the way to the 8th floor most of the time. But it still took the stairs. When our bags arrived, there were many closets to put it in. I think, what do I put in? There were little closets, but I had to so I couldn't put it all in one room, so I had to kind of organize, and then when I got ready to go somewhere, I had to find what I wanted to wear. We started moving, and it took forever to get out of the Seattle area, it seemed. It really did, because it was moving slowly, but we finally did, and everybody went up to the very top deck to see everything. It was really neat. And there I made my first friends. It was a couple from the DC area. I only got to see them a time or two after that, because we couldn't seem to find each other, but I did get to meet them. Then on to the evening meal, and that was really exciting. We saw whales. The only time on the ship that we did see whales was in this evening dining room area. After eating, you roam around a while. What to do? Oh no, they have a casino. One thing you don't need is a casino. And the first night there, they were very free with the passing around. Would you like to drink? I normally one drink, but I had a little bit too many that night. And we had a storm. I'm not kidding. We were going like this, back and forth. Oh no. And everybody was, what's going on? So, done me, I go up all the way to the top floor, because they're having dances up there, and I love to dance. I hung on the nearest thing I could find with the ship going like this. How these dancers got out there, heaven only knows. They were dancing like there wasn't even anything going on, but they were doing it. Not me. I went back to the room, and after all those drinks I had, for the first time in my life, I got sick on a cruise ship. But I didn't have a hangover the next day. Didn't have a hangover. But anyway, 3 nights. It took us 3 nights and 3 days and 2 nights to get to our first island, which was Juneau. It didn't impress me very much. They didn't have. I chose an excursion for all 4 places we went to. This one was gold mining. The guy came and picked us up, and he was informative. He told us all about gold mining and everything. I had already done this in Colorado, but not quite like this. We actually had to go to the water and dip down and get it and then check it out. Well, I got a little vial about like this. I think I had maybe 50 cents or $1 worth of gold in there. I'm sorry. On the way back to go at Juneau, the driver did tell us some interesting facts. One thing, there was a little island out there. You couldn't, I mean, it looked maybe as big as this whole area right here was all. And right in the middle of it was this wood house. It was only $1 million, including the island. The next place we went to, we stopped at was, after Juneau, was Sitka. Now this was the very best place in the world, was Sitka. I loved it. They had, our tour guide had lived there all her life. She knew everything about the island and pointed things out and told us a lot of things. There's a rainforest there called the
Songus.
Tungus, I believe.
Songus.
Yeah, rainforest. No, the area we went in, that I went in, wasn't part of the rainforest, but she told about it, and there were beautiful trees. And I've been in the woods all my life, but I'd never seen a huge stump, completely dead, with a tree going up in the middle of it. This was very common out there. And then there was one tree that was really tall, and it was about, here's the stump, and it was at least as tall as this room. Most of them just had little sprouts, but I thought that was very interesting. And we saw some eagle nests were pointed out to us and various things. And then when she took us to 2 streams, we crossed a bridge where we got to see lots of salmon going through. They were coming up that way to spawn and die. Then the next place we went to was, from Sitka, we went to Ketchikan. I wasn't very impressed with Ketchikan. I did find out some interesting things about it. There were a lot of buildings. I'm not sure, she told what the buildings used to be, what they were used for, but I don't remember. But the important thing was, these buildings were now being utilized for children in the outskirts who had no school to go to. They were bussed in, and they had to stay there during the whole term and then go back home. And I thought this was an interesting fact, that they worked, made sure the children went to school. Also at Ketchikan Ketchikan, forgive me, but I didn't write it down on this paper. We saw the tour guide saw 2 ships. It's from the one some of you may know about, the Greatest Catch. I think it's called on TV. It's a real reality show. I never watch it, but the 2 ships were there, and they were coming up there, and she was, oh my gosh, there's a so-and-so. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. She got really excited because she saw them. And then I found out later they weren't supposed to be in that. They don't normally go to that area. They're more up around down in Seattle area or something. I didn't. Well, on to our last excursion, which was Victoria. I've been to Victoria before. I enjoyed it. The first time I went, I got to see ice sculptures. That was awesome. This time, I took a tour bus guide, supposedly. When we got there, a bus dropped us off at the waterfront. We got to see the boats out there, and there were people sitting out there doing various things. And there was 2 young women who were sitting there with harps, really beautiful, playing. And they had little collection things out. They were trying to earn money to pay for their harps. And they're really good at playing. And then there was another gentleman, I didn't get the name of what he was playing. Some of you might know. He was sitting there, and I was far enough away, I couldn't tell whether there was a string or whether he was putting his hands on poles or something. But it was about this long and about that wide. And it was beautiful. It had a harp-like sound to it. It was very, very pretty. Well, we waited and we waited and we waited. Finally, the guy told us, well, there's something happened. I don't know what it is. You may as well walk around a bit. So we did. We walked around and saw, since we were in the government area, we saw the Parliament building and things like that, and it was very nice. And then there were some old hotels that were absolutely gorgeous. Well, we got back, no bus. So one of the men said, well, I'll go and look for it. Let's find out what happened. Well, he brought back this gentleman, and he says, I'm sorry, folks. He said, the tour bus has broken down. We'll be sure and refund your money. Well, I don't know if there's one in every crowd or not, but there was this one little lady, well, I want my money back. I want it right now. I want my money. I want my, he said, ma'am, you'll get your money. I want it right now. You give me my money. I mean, she made a fool out of herself. And everybody really got mad at her. And he says, lady, I am the dispatcher. I volunteered to come here. I don't know anything about your money. And walked off. So anyway, we all gave him a clap when he did that. After that, we got back to our boat and we headed for, that was Saturday evening, and we headed back to the port of Seattle. Got there about 8:30. It was a welcome time home, but I really enjoyed, and my brother and sister-in-law were there to meet me, and that was kind of neat. But I really enjoyed my trip. I will go back, but I'll take a different route next time. Thank you.